not listed on the paperwork as possible to see them. So let's talk in this situation, Philip. Can we talk about the things that we wish men would think about before they act that might end up that your butt's going to be in court justifying what you did or having the consequences? Right now, that called the mother of the children some pretty nasty names on videotape. That event comes up as a justification for why she's mistreating him. What's some of the things that men get put in a situation that that catches them off guard? The one we talked about beforehand was going to school where your kid goes. You try to show up because you have a chance to do lunch. It's close to a birthday or something. So the dad goes to the school.
He's caught off guard because he has not taken the procedural route to make himself legal. He has no clue that he's not legal. And he has no clue that he may not be, particularly if him and mom don't have a stable relationship. She hasn't listed him on anything. Medical records, school records, church records. He's not on nothing.
Or sometimes they might find actually that she tried to file papers to say that he ought not be given any information. And men do this to women too. There's instances where this happens there too.
Because the only place where he's on stuff is stuff related to court.
And this is usually when you're talking about what the courts refer to as a visitation parent versus a custodial parent. However, in Virginia, we've got custodial and visitation. The custodial parent, that's where the child is usually going to school because of the location within a jurisdiction.
And particularly if we got dads, which we do. We have a large percentage of fathers who are non-residential fathers. So he's got his crib, she's got her place, and they live in totally different dwellings. And that creates a separation as far as him having legal standings for the children. He's got to make sure that he is legal across the board.
How do we make dads feel like they're legal? I would say just recognizing how to effectively and kindly assert your rights, protect your rights. So how do dads make sure that being legal in your mind, I will say, how can dads make sure that they proactively protect their rights?
Well, I always tell dads, first thing you do, you get a copy of your children's birth certificates.
Correct.
Is your name on the birth certificate when the kids were born? How old are your kids now? 6 and 7? Do you have copies of the birth? No, I guess mine, but you need to get your own copy.
And we don't judge anyone who's in that situation. Sometimes they didn't know. Sometimes they weren't sure because they want to do a paternity test. So if that's not the case, then there should be places where you can start filing for paternity.
Because certain hospitals, I've had this happen with some dads. If dad and mom are not married, and mom is she's about to deliver, so they're gonna take mom to get her ready for the delivery. And based on the staff,
so many of these dads were not present.
It can't go into the room with mom because their names are not listed on anything.
Sometimes they're at such odds that they don't want to be anyone certain. I guarantee she doesn't want him there. Or maybe she wants him there and he's like, but there's all sorts of reasons why that happens. That happens a lot.
So the first legal document attached to that child, and mom's name gonna be on everything because she gave birth, is that birth certificate.
Yep.
And it's sad that you meet a lot of men that don't have copies of their children's birth certificate and how they can get their names added to the birth certificate, going through that process. And you would think that would be a common thing that men would know, but a lot of men don't.
Well, a lot of, we were talking beforehand, sometimes people are so scared to start the court process. I think that there's a lot of reason to be scared because it can get very adversarial. However, I go back to we have the ability to kind of control from the way we behave on what type of fight we want to have. And if we don't punch down as a justification because we felt someone punched down on us, and that's that kind of thought process, the behavior that you did. Did you stoop to their level and say it was justified because they did it, or do we want to model the kind of behavior that way they can start realizing that that you're going to honor your word? A lot of these things come down, in my opinion, to the ability for someone else to start respecting them and knowing that they're going to keep their word, or justify breaking their word because they feel that the justification has already been shown. So there's all sorts of ways for men to get legal in that response. So your name is on the birth certificate, or you have some sort of court documentation saying you are the paternal father, and so that's usually a DNA test that the court manages. So let's say you get past that, or you didn't start there because you were on the birth certificate, you were married. Most states, maybe not most, certainly Virginia, if you were married and the child was born while you were married, unless someone else's name was specifically put on that birth certificate, you're called the presumptive father. So that's okay. So if you were married and the kid happened, they maybe have some other questions. Now we know the kid's ours. We're not the custodial parent, and we're going there and we're going to go visit our kid. So whatever, we're going to surprise him.
Right.
Maybe the kid lives in a different town, right? Maybe he lives in your area. It's the first time at this school, and now you walk up to the front desk where you stop at the front door and ring the bell, and they say, "Who are you here to see?"
Yeah.
What happens? And you have what you think your kid's favorite meal is, you know? Maybe a whole box of pizza, right? From their favorite place. You got there and you get to the front door. What happens? Who are you here to see?
I'm here to see my son and daughter. They're students here, William and Diane Williams.
Oh, hold on, please. I'm sorry, sir. Who are you again?
I'm the father. I'm John Williams.
And how do you spell John?
I spell John the way you would spell John.
Well, I want to tell you, sir, I'm sorry. You're not listed on the paperwork as possible to see them. Excuse me?
I can't see my kids go to this school. They've been here since the first grade. Now they're in the third grade.
Well, sir, I'm sorry. This isn't something I can help you with. We've got strict procedures here, and you're not listed on the paperwork, and I can't even verify with you as to whether or not these children go here.
But hold on for a moment. I'm gonna call their mom.
If you could just please remain calm. I just can't help you.
You see what I have here? I got lunch.
Sir,
I got a pizza for them.
Sir, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Good day.
Yeah. So,
man, do you feel that energy?